feel a little bit of partnership looks like or sounds like open marriage, because partnership is like, let's see how it goes. That is how it is here.
Our parents' generation, they were not perfect. They made a lot of mistakes, but they also did a lot of things right.
Even if the person is in Wales or Scotland.
It's still a no-no for me because, well, when I was in the dating world,
What is guaranteed that she's still waiting for you?
no, no, no. You don't
So
have eyes
when you
over
come,
there.
exactly, you don't have eyes over there. You can't verify whether she's still loyal to you. So for me personally, if you are in a serious relationship with somebody or you're married and you're in Nigeria and you want to japa, please choose a route that allows you to carry your husband. The Africans in Nigeria are very communal. So you know everybody in back home, you know everybody on your streets, you know everybody
Yeah.
in your neighborhood, you know everybody in your church. But here it's not like that.
Mhm.
So that's a major factor that that affects people's women's ability to meet men.
Hi everyone, my name is Ebenezer. People call me Peacemaker. Welcome to another interesting edition of Fearless Ish podcast, where we are discussing interesting topics that will benefit the society, entertain you guys, and serve as an information hub. Today we'll be discussing why women in the UK at 40 are not married, even though they are doing quite well in their career. They either choose to go back to Nigeria to marry or they remain single for all their lives. So today we have two guests with us. Excitingly, we were able to drag them here. So with me is very interesting person here. Her name is Fatima. Fatima, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. We also have another popular person, OG of Hull. OG, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Managing.
All right. All right. So the question today is, why are women, as ladies in the UK, even though they doing quite well in their career, they've stayed here for a long time, uh, are not finding husband easily in the United Kingdom. Some of them prefer to go to Nigeria to marry, especially marry their old boyfriends, or remain single for all their lives. Why is it so? I'm going to start with Fatih. Fatih,
Yeah,
talk to
ladies
me.
first.
What could be the problem?
um, I think there's a lot of layers to it. The first part is that let's talk about the institution of marriage itself. Um, in Africa, in Nigeria, marriage was more of a societal construct. Like you're expected to get married when you get to a certain age, and maybe you're done with school and all that. And so coming to the UK, there really isn't that pressure. Like here, they're not pressure. Like I'm talking about here, I mean the British people, they don't really have that pressure to get married, and so that can be an influence for us. The second part is that because of where we are coming from, marriage was was kind of like you get married. When you get married, you expect your husband to take care of you.
Mm.
You expect him to be the provider too, and mostly in Nigeria, it's the man that pays all the bills. But then you come to the UK and you see that technically that's not really possible.
Mhm.
It's very rare to have a man paying all the bills because of the way the system is.
Yeah.
Like here, there are a lot of bills, and so you know that a woman, as a woman, you have to help, you have to support as much as you can. And most ladies, I'm saying this as a woman, most ladies are struggling with that. Like I had a conversation with a friend, and he was saying that he's married, and he was saying that he was trying to he was asking me if there's a way he could talk to his wife to help him in paying some of his bills, because he wants to he wants to start saving money for mortgage and some other things, but he can't because all of his salary is going towards paying the bills, and his wife is working but she's not paying anything.
So, OG, what do you think about? I mean, from the influence of United Kingdom, like
Yeah, so yeah, because you come here and we are in a system where that is very expensive. In Nigeria, a man of you see security guards are earning 50K and they are married with families.
Married
Because
with
married with
four
kids
wives.
serves. And because that 50K somehow they manage to make it stretch to take care of themselves and their families. But here, I mean, by the time you pay rent, how much are you earning? And by the time you pay rent, you pay this, you pay that. Like I think for an average immigrant man, it's very that has a family, it's very difficult for him to pay foot the bills 100% unless you are making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not even talking of tax, things like after working, you still get taxed.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we because of our culture has influenced us to believe that my husband must pay for everything because he's the man, he's the head, he's the provider. The men are struggling, and we don't hear this often because men are not as vocal as women.
Yeah.
So most men, like I said, I was very shocked when my friend told me this. I was like, really? He was like, he doesn't want to fight with her, but he just needs the advice on how to discuss the topic with her. And I'm like, you have to sit her down and explain to her that I can't do this alone. You have to help me and you have to support me. That's just it.
So it's a factor of fear.
Yeah, not
Fear.
really fair, but because even though we come, our culture, people don't understand how much culture and tradition influence us. That's why even when we come here, we still hold on to some of those things. And I have to tell people that if you are coming from Nigeria to the UK, you have to be ready to drop some of the. Our culture is not bad, but it was designed for that system.
Mm-hmm.
But now you are in a different system. You need to let go of some of those things and come here and find out how this place works and adapt to it as much as you can. You can't come here and still be expecting your husband to pay 100% of the bill unless he's making, of course, if he's making a lot of money, fine. But if he's the typical average man that came here and had to do warehouse, care, SIA to survive, he came here on student visa. Come on, it's unrealistic. So you need to come in with that mindset that you have to leave that in Nigeria, come here, help and support. But another influence that a lot of women now believe that marriage only benefits men. Because in Nigeria, you get married, you can choose not to work or you can choose just to do menial jobs because your husband is paying the bills. But when you come here, most women are doing warehouse. Most women are doing care. They are doing hard jobs that if those jobs existed in Nigeria, those jobs will not even employ women. I was telling someone that if
Mm-hmm.
we had warehouse jobs in Nigeria, the kind of warehouse jobs that we have here, if we had them in Nigeria, they will not employ women because they will feel that women cannot do this type of work. But here, go to where I have worked in warehouse and I'm a woman. Go to warehouse, you see women there. So the women are hustling on the same. Women are hustling because they are not given the same opportunities as men here because of this system. So they will not feel like, why do I need a man? After all, you are working in warehouse, I'm working in warehouse. The amount you are earning, I'm also earning the same amount. So what can you do for me? And unfortunately, African men are not as prepared for marriage as women. In women, you are taught to cook, you are clean. Your parents will nag you, they'll tell you, is this how you behave in your husband's house? You never hear them telling the guys that's how you behave when you're married. So we are taught to prepare for marriage, we are taught to prepare for, but the only thing that a guy is told in terms of marriage is make sure you make money so that you can take care of your
Provide.
family. But he's not taught how to love his wife. He's not taught how to treat his wife. He's not taught how to care for his wife. He's not taught how to care for his children. Most African fathers are scary. Most of us were scared of our fathers. Minutes you know it's time for your dad to come back from work, you run, you go and hide somewhere. But so he's not taught how to be. To him, as far as he's paying the bills, he's okay. He has done his job. And so most women don't want that anymore because the bills they are paying, I'm also paying those bills. So what can you bring? What are you offering me? So they don't even bother again.
Though I have a lot of reservations.
I do also.
I'm not saying it's every guy. I'm talking
Of
of just
course,
like
we can't generalize. Yeah.
a general thing.
I have a lot of reservations. So based on where we are coming from, based on the African culture. But let me leave that reservation for OG. OG, what's your feel?
Do you want me to add to the causes?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can counter.
Okay, I don't want to counter it. I just want to, add to why I think women.
But me, I'm
So,
going to counter.
yeah, of course, of
Because
course.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing is, one thing is, why they are unmarried by 40? One point is, do they really want to get married? Yes, and the Western world, the culture now here, people don't want to, settle with somebody and live the rest of their life with one man or one woman, as the case may be. Some people say after 20 years, I'm tired of this particular person. I'll move on to another partner. Our culture does not, African culture does not really accept that. But this Western world is now really opening a lot of people's eyes to very liberal life that they say, this is not bad after all. I can do this, I can do that. And like she rightly said, if a woman can earn 2,000 quid per month and a man can earn 2,000 quid per month, the man will get into her head and say, okay, what other thing can a man do for me when I'm already earning money? You understand? But another point that I think is that attitude, behavior, character of women now. I mean, I'm not generalizing, but I'm saying
which they do not have when they were.
yes. And this attitude and character is actually making men run away from them. Like I said earlier, I'm not generalizing. I'm saying for some married people, when you see some toxic people, when you see some aggressive people, or maybe domestically violent, or maybe you are rude, uncultured. I mean, an average man wouldn't want to move towards someone like that. It's not gender based. I mean, it's just because men are naturally powerful. That's why the news of a man beat his wife. That's why people hear that a lot. There are a lot of women that are actually more aggressive and powerful than men that do that. You get, but I've come across quite a number of women, and I've had conversations with some people, and I know that if I was single and looking for someone to marry, I can't marry you. I mean, in my mind, I would say that because when I hear some people speak, when I hear some people have conversations with outside or third party, I know this person is. Of course, I'm not one to judge, but in my only to understanding, I say no. This behavior would not, last you 2 years in a marriage. In marriage, now she also mentioned something about men are not, trained to love or trained. So I wouldn't say that because marriage as an institution engulfs a lot of things, upbringing. When you go to church, you go to mosque when you're young, they teach you how to love in mosque, they teach you how to love in churches, uh, in the environment, in schools, they teach you all that. So because men are logical, women are emotional. That's why I feel that women show more of the care and love. Men will not show the care and love by, maybe public display of affection or by, this lovey-dovey thing, but providing for the family is care. Protecting your family is love. So maybe love and care can actually mean another thing to women than men, or or not on the same wavelength. So that's why I said I don't really agree that men are not trained to love. So maybe the pattern of love might be different. I mean, that is what I feel. So that is that. And I only believe that the character and behavior of some women will really not make them get married.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk about finding the right man in the UK. I mean, for a woman, why is it that some ladies, right, after they've spent so many years here in the UK, they still cannot find the appropriate person to marry? So they still have to go back to Nigeria to marry or either remain single for the rest of their life.
I think expectation.
Yeah, first of all, expectations. Because, like I said, a lot of women still, when they come here, they still carry the same mindset that they carry from Nigeria.
Yeah.
And so you come here and because in Nigeria, when you're looking for a husband, one of the things you look at is his ability to provide. So because you're expecting to pay all the bills.
No, sorry to cut you short, but do you know that if those women are in Nigeria, they would have gotten married faster than if they are in the UK.
Another thing is the culture because you here in the UK, hustle is real. So
Hmm.
people are working 12-hour shifts almost 7 days a week. So they don't have time to, like in Nigeria, you have opportunities to meet people.
Hmm.
You meet people in church, you meet people in school, you meet people in work, you meet people even on the street.
Yeah.
Like you can be walking on the street and the guy can stop you and say, "How far? Give me your number." And
Right.
from there, something can happen. But here, because everybody is minding their business, everybody is too busy working. And because here women hustle as much as the guys, so they don't have time to actually actively say they are going, okay, I want to do this or do that so that I can meet somebody, or have the opportunity to meet a man because I want to get married. So that's another factor. People are too busy in this country working. And so unless you meet somebody in your place of work or you meet somebody in your church, because
Hmm.
nobody here is going to stop you on the road. Everybody's afraid. They don't want to get they don't want to say, oh, sexual assault.
Yeah.
So no guy is going to stop you on the road and say, fine girl, how far here, like they do in Nigeria. So unless
Hmm.
you're meeting somebody in work or in church, or someone has to introduce you to someone, there's really no that those opportunities. Even the white people, when they want to meet people, they go on dating apps
Yeah.
because even they know that their culture doesn't really breed that opportunity to meet people like the way our African culture. I mean, naturally, we Africans in Nigeria are very communal. So
Mhm.
you know everybody in back home, you know everybody on your streets, you know
Yeah.
everybody in your neighborhood, you know everybody in your church. But here it's not like that. So
Hmm.
that's a major factor that that affects people's women's ability to
Mm.
meet men.
And I also think constant heartbreak. I mean, an average woman complains, or
Hmm. Constant heartbreak in the UK or
no, no, no. I mean, UK and back home, because of course the one back home you have had a lot of breakfast, the way people say it, yeah. And then you come here, you try once, twice, thrice, and then you have that sequence of um people not agreeing to be with you forever. So that's it. And also, I said expectation the other time, and I think there's also a growing pattern of women that want to get married to British. Yes,
Yeah, that's another
yes,
factor.
yes. I don't know why. I don't know. Of course, I know why, but
Obviously for immigration purposes,
yeah,
but that's
yes,
beside
that
the
is it.
point.
So they wait and wait and wait and wait, because even the Brits, they've not even married their own.
They don't even get married to each other.
Yes,
So
they can.
and they're more of a partnership.
Yes, they
yeah,
have
they do
partners for
civil
50
law
years.
and partnership. So that's an but here you know that yeah, especially from the women's side, looking to get married to a British for immigration purposes, which is I don't even I mean to each our own. But I remember this issue came up in the group. Somebody posted a video where a guy was trying to talk to a girl and the girl at first was responding normally.
Hmm.
But when she found out that the guy was on student visa, she just like no
Yeah,
way cancelled
classism.
out. So there's that classes, and this was actually a topic on Twitter, I think a few years ago, that there's the classism among Nigerians in the UK
Yes.
where even people on skilled workers visa would not want to talk to somebody on student visa.
Yeah, and
And
ILR, we don't want to talk
yes,
to skills.
somebody on IR will not want to talk to somebody on skilled worker visa. And it goes with
Mm.
there are so many reasons to that. First of all, they feel like you want to use them. Because
Hmm.
if let's say as a woman, if I have ILR or skilled worker visa, I would be very careful to the men I talk to because I don't want a man to see me as an opportunity. If I was a
Mm.
British citizen, I would be not that I would not. I would just be much more um I'll have to vet men more properly
Right.
because I need to make sure that you are not just trying to use me because I have papers. And
Mm.
it's the same thing I was telling a friend a few days ago that as I am like that, I cannot date somebody in Nigeria. Like if
Hmm.
I'm going to yeah, I whoever you are, you must be in the UK. And the reason is because you can never be really sure of that person's intention. That person
Hmm.
might just be seeing you as an opportunity to jackpot. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but that is a very faulty foundation. In my opinion,
Mm.
it's a very faulty foundation to start a relationship. That the person just says, "Oh, you're in the UK," and boom, he's interested in you. So what if I was not in the UK? Would you still be interested in me? So if that classism exists, and rightfully so, because
Hmm.
people, if I was on IRI, if I was on School of Africa, I would vet men much more properly than because I want to make sure that I'm not being used. So
Mm.
that's it.
It's always with the women, anyways, because I don't see men doing all this vetting. Men are not really into this person wants to use me. I mean, naturally for African men, we're always used, and we don't really bother because it's always in the head that I have to provide, I have to provide. So it's like a feel of responsibility for me, and even most African men don't like to go Dutch. When I mean Dutch, I mean split bills, but UK will teach you how to do that. You get, but like I was saying then that many people get wait and wait and wait for the British man to approach them and all. So I
Well,
think that.
well, I think somehow it is a culture issue. If you remember, we discussed culture shock in the last episode. You know, the situation where the wife is working, the husband is working. A lot of them don't even have time to spend together, right? And they are now being hit by the culture of the United Kingdom when they got here. Things just change, you know. So is would you say it is as a result of the culture of the United Kingdom because everybody has to be doing something productive. Everybody has to be doing something productive. Would you say it is that culture shock that is causing all this?
The problem in no, I won't say it's not favoring women. I would say that I think this is a general. Of course, I'm not generalizing, but I just think that generally the problem with with Nigerians in the UK is that we have not really learned how to adapt to the system. We are still taking our culture, especially if people that migrate in their 20s, 30s. I mean, you spent 20, 30 years in Nigeria already, so the culture has influenced you a lot.
True and true.
Yeah, it doesn't. No, yes, you are still a Nigerian, but you cannot carry your Nigerian mentality and come here and still apply it and expect it to work
Hmm.
because you are in a different system. So yes, you are still in Nigeria. It's okay to hold on to your
Belief.
beliefs and your values, which is but you need to now know that those beliefs and values may not be applicable here. So if you want to succeed here, you need to learn how to adapt, and that's the thing. So I feel like for women, you need to learn how to adapt. I'm thinking it's disadvantageous for women. I won't say it's guys can get married. I won't say it's disadvantageous. I would say it is we have not learned how to adapt. And so because we have not learned how to adapt, we are at a disadvantage. But when you learn how, because I personally know like two, three of my friends who got married in the UK. Yes, they met their partners there. I attended one's wedding in November. One, she's getting married this year. They met their part. I'm not married, but I have a partner, and I met him here in the UK. So, looking back, if I were to use I don't like using my experience because my experience is mine. It might be valid, but it might not be applicable to everybody. But my experience is that you have to learn how to adapt. You cannot behave the way you would behave in Nigeria here.
Of course.
So if you want to get, and it's even Africa, even and it, I think it also works both ways. Like a lot of men are expecting women to be the way they are in Nigeria. Here, you have to understand that your wife would just be as ambitious as you are. She will
Hmm.
work as hard as you work. So you don't expect her to work. If your wife is working 12 years, 12-hour shifts in care or in warehouse, you don't expect her to come home and still be cooking and cleaning and do everything that most Nigerian women are expected to do. You have to know that here you will have to assist her
Of
with the
course.
chores. You have to in Nigeria you might not enter kitchen to cook, but odogu, yeah, odogu, you still be odogu, but you go enter kitchen. You will help with childcare. You will take your children to school. You will change babies' diapers. You might not do all that in Nigeria because the system has already favored us to manage our homes. So even in Nigeria, a woman might be working, but she'll still be the one running the home
Hmm.
efficiently. The husband will not lift a finger in the house, but that won't work here. So I think it works both ways. Like you don't expect your wife, because at home you saw your mom doing all the chores in the house and your dad never, and maybe she still had a job but she still had to go to market, and then you come here and you still expect your wife to go and do 12 hours, 14 hours, 15-hour shifts and come home and still cook and clean and take care of the kids. It's not realistic. And so these are one of the issues that couples are having. You still expect her to take your kids to school, you still expect her to do childcare. So both parties, both genders need to adapt. You need to be flexible. It's okay to hold on to your values and believe as an African. And I think it's necessary because this system, we came here for a better life, but they are not perfect. And
Hmm.
there are many things we should not accept from them.
They are flawed.
They are flawed. Yeah, that's why I keep telling people. Everybody say, but yes, they have a working system, but they are not perfect.
Hmm.
And you need to be able to recognize those flaws and say, I don't want this one. I don't want to be depressed. Depression is rampant here. I don't want this unhealthy lifestyle, the way they smoke and vape and drink. No, I don't want that. I want to still hold on. I don't want this their system of they don't believe in anything.
Hmm.
I still want to have faith in God. So you need to recognize the flaws of the
Or
system.
hygiene.
No, or hygiene. You don't need to bathe every day because no way. Come on, I'm still an African. So you need to learn how to hold on to your belief, but still adapt and be flexible. And it works for both ways. Men are still. We might feel that it's easy for. I believe that at the end of the day, no matter men are more favored when it comes, even whether it's Nigeria and the UK. Men are more. If in Nigeria too, there are still a lot of single women compared to men.
Men are more favored in
As
what?
in more men are more favored in the sense that it is much easier for a man to get married. It's the truth.
Of course. Yeah.
It is much easier.
Yes.
Men don't wait as long as women wait.
Even if the man
If you
waits,
see,
he
even
still
if,
has nothing to lose.
yeah, even if he waits, he still has nothing to lose. If he's for, he can decide that I don't want to get married to 45, and at 45 he wakes up that I want to get married, and before the end of that year he has got, you will find somebody. But a woman, we can't do that. So that's it.
Before we talk about long distance relationship, let's talk about partnership, right? Partnership and marriage. Oji, which one would you prefer? Based on the culture, prevailing culture.
Our culture here,
No,
also
no,
our culture
here. You know, culture in
As in
UK.
the
here.
UK culture.
I think the partnership works because of the UK culture here. Um, sorry, marriage is like a bond that if it doesn't work, you are still in it. I mean, I'm not talking about divorce. I'm just saying if it does not work, you are still going to be in it. But for partnership, you are helping each other. So it's like a signed agreement that this is what we are doing. I can walk out if I don't like it. You understand? So that's why most of them here. I have a colleague that's been with his partner for I think 47 years, and they did not marry. They did not get married at all. And there's a colleague of mine too that got married in November. She said she's been with her partner since I think 1991. That's about 34 years. So they just got married this November. Why? I don't know. You get so, but I think that partnership is a lot better than marriage because partnership helps you to understand that person for a long. Partnership is like cutting. It's like
But I think, but I think there's a legal registration for that.
Yeah, they call it
really.
common law marriage. You can actually go to the court and do common law, and like it's like a
And it's
civil, it's
legally
legal.
binding.
Yeah, the reason why they do that is because of the legalities. Like, let's say you are partners, but you guys bought a house together,
Oh, okay.
or your partners are you people have kids together, but you're not
Mm,
legally married. You can have that. I think it's called common law, where in case maybe you guys want to go your separate ways, there's a way to manage your assets or kids or something like that. To me,
okay.
partnership and
But
marriage,
in partnership, it is not divorce rather.
it
It's
is.
easy to say
Separate.
I'm no longer interested.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason why people think that partner. To me, to me, they're basically the same thing. The only difference is that marriage, to get out of marriage is harder than getting out of a partnership. But
Mm-hmm.
the essence of whether a marriage or a partnership is a long-term commitment to somebody. Whether, like you said, you have colleagues who are someone that's been with a partner for 34 years.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's basically the same thing as being married to someone for 34 years. The only reason is that one gives you an easy way out than the other. So it's not really about the easy way out. It's about how can I spend 30, 40, 50 years of my life with a man happily. Whether we are doing it in partnership or we are doing it in marriage, my concern is not how do I get out of this. My concern is that I want to know how I can live with this man for the next 30, 40, 50 years. And we are happy. We are both benefiting from it. We are happy and we are successful at it. So it's not really about whatever name you want to call it, because in my opinion, both marriage and the partnership, it's long term. No, even when you're getting into partnership with somebody, it's not something you want to do for 2, 3 years. You are thinking long term. Marriage too, the same thing, long term. The only thing is that one binds you more than the
Mm.
other. So my concern is now, let's not think of which one is better than the other. Let's think of how you can live with someone, have kids with them, see them at their best possible state, their worst possible state, go through challenges together, because that's what life is. You are going through challenge. What if this person falls sick? What if this person has an accident? What if we experience severe economic issues? How
Mm.
can I spend the next 20, 30, 40 years with this person and we are both happy and successful at it? That should be our concern, not which one is the day
And that
I want
culture
to
is dying.
live. And that culture is dying, and I feel
Yeah,
that that is what's affecting
it's dying.
relationships and
Yes.
marriages.
Yeah.
People are no longer thinking of how to be successful at it. People are thinking of what can give me the easy way out. That means if I want to leave tomorrow,
People
I
zone
can
out.
easily
Yeah.
check out. And
Mm.
that is, you can't be successful at something that you have already planned your exit. That's my opinion. You
Mm.
cannot be successful at something where you're already thinking and planning of your
Mm.
exit.
Yeah.
So what you should be thinking of is, my partner, I'm always thinking of how can I be successful at this? I want to if I say I want to spend, if I want to get married now, we all pray for long life. So if I want to get married now, that's 50 years of my life with this person. How am I going to spend the next 50 years of my life with this person and make sure that I am not miserable, that I am happy and he is also happy with me and I am happy with him and we are successful? That should be our mindset towards marriage or
Mm.
partnership or whatever you
Mm.
want to call it.
Yeah.
But
But
not thinking of which one is that I can easily wake up tomorrow,
mm.
pack my bags, and there is no, it's easy for me to do that without thinking of going to court, getting divorced, sharing money, sharing house.
In some ways, I feel a little bit of partnership looks like or sounds like open marriage because partnership is like let's see how it goes. That is how it is here. let's see how it goes. So they're taking it bit by bit, step by step. And then in a bid to take it step by step, they can zone out, or come. That's some of them. They say, I had a little break with my partner, but I'm back. I mean, to me it's not commonsensical, but I mean that is what it is. And then for open marriage is like, we are married, but I can do whatever I want to do outside and come back into that marriage. So it's still like partnerships, sort of. I mean, the definition of partnership here, I mean, that is what I feel, because it's the same as open marriage. Open marriage, we are married, but I can still go outside there, probably just have fun with someone, come back, do any tactical maneuver, whatever, and come back. Same as the woman too. You get. So that culture, this their culture is already
Creeping into
into African culture a whole lot.
yeah,
Yes, a
they
whole
are.
lot.
And that's why I keep saying that you
Mm,
need to be able to recognize the flaws in the system because of how bad, in quotes, bad things are in it. We are so used to bashing our country that we don't appreciate the good side of it.
yeah.
And because we don't appreciate the good side of it, we come here and we idolize these people. And I'm not saying that this coming having the opportunity to leave Nigeria and come to a better economy, better working system is not good. But we have so idolized them that we don't see their flaws anymore. And so we take in everything. We are happy that we
Hook,
have
line,
good
and sinker.
roads and electricity, but are also taking in their own values. They don't value marriage. They don't value um
The
re-
supreme being.
because to
They
me
don't.
the baseline of a relationship, whether it's in marriage or partnership, is that commitment to one another. Once you have taken that out, then you don't have a relationship. You are just, it's something else. I don't know what to call it, but that is not
Mm,
marriage. That's not. Once somebody has the opportunity to go outside, do whatever he or she wants,
mhm.
and still come back, and it's like everything is okay.
There's no
That there's
respect
no
there.
need. Like that is not a
There's
relationship.
no value.
Relationship is that you and somebody have decided willfully to commit to each other and just each other. So
Mhm,
once you take that out, it's no longer a marriage, it's not a relationship, it's something else, which is what they do. And it's unfortunate that we are not practicing it because we came from a culture where we saw our parents stay together through two trick or thing. They
mhm,
were not always happy. If you sit down and discuss with them, they'll tell you there were times where they were not happy with each other.
mhm,
But our culture has imbibed us that you are here, there's nowhere to go. You have to stay here and find a way to make it work. So
mhm.
unfortunately, it's quite unfortunate that we are losing that value, which is very sad.
And the generation coming on now, they don't even respect the values, the cultures that we grew up you know following. And because now they always have they always have a problem with everything that the culture that brought us up, that guided us, the morals that we followed.
Mm.
Now the younger generations now, they
Yeah,
just
now generation
tackle
is not.
everything.
Yes, they feel like, and I feel like I also tell people that our parents were not perfect. Our parents' generation, they were not perfect. They
Mm,
made a lot of mistakes, but they also did a lot of things right.
yeah,
They also got a lot of things right. So if you keep hyper fixating on their mistakes, we would ignore. It's like throwing away
the
the
good.
baby with the bathwater. So that is what this even our generation and the younger generation we are doing. We
Hmm.
are fixated on the mistakes and the wrongs of that generation that we are not seeing what they did right. Many of them, like our parents, we complain that our parents were too strict with us, but we know that if they were not that strict, we would probably be in prison,
Yeah,
or we'll
sure.
probably be doing drugs.
Wayward life, yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably be living a way where you won't be as educated as you are. You won't. Their strictness kept you on that straight path that you had to go to school and get good grades, and grad. Many of us we won't go to school if our parents were not strict on us.
Yeah,
But we are now saying that, oh, don't. We're now saying no, don't be strict. Do gentle
yeah.
parenting.
Positive behavior
Do positive
support.
behavior and gentle parenting with your kids because you don't
Yeah.
want to be as strict as your parents were. But you know fully well that your parents being strict on you was what led you to be a
Mhm.
responsible adult.
Yeah.
If not, you'll be taking drugs, you'll be in the street, you'll be prostitute or something.
Mm,
So we need to stop being so hyper. I'm not saying we should not learn from their mistakes, but we should also learn to appreciate the good things that they did that helped us. And we should not just throw away their values because we are now in a better system. To me, this system is not really better. It's more of they got some things right, which our country is not getting right, but they're also getting many things wrong,
a whole
which we need
lot.
to be aware of and say no, we don't want this. That's it. So
Mm,
we need to, yes, they got some things right, economy, working system, everything is working and all
structure.
that. The structure, every government, they are working fine, but they also have many things that are wrong. And if you're not aware of it, you will take in everything, both the good and the bad.
And let's talk about long distance relationship.
No.
Exactly. Personally, no. Like I said,
No.
I cannot. I told my friend I cannot. Like I said, personally, I said I cannot date somebody who is in Nigeria, and the reason is because you can never truly verify the genuineness of their intention towards you, and so I think that long distance relationship is. It depends on the context. Long distance relationship is either you're here in England, the person is in Scotland, or you're here in UK and the person is in Nigeria.
To me, in any context, it's a no.
Even if the person is in Wales or Scotland.
It's still a no for me because when I was in the dating world, yeah, I've done that before. I was in Nigeria and she was in China.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's like an intercontinental long distance.
I did it for 2 years.
Oh no, I would not approve that.
Yeah,
I would not approve a long distance relationship where the person cannot dating somebody in Nigeria that doesn't have a visa to come and visit, and you are abroad, and the person doesn't have a visa to come and visit you when they want. To me, is a recipe.
Yeah,
for
or we can't
disaster.
even meet in. Let's say, okay, let's go to probably a country that we can both go to.
The essence of long distance relationship is that okay, fine, we are not in the same location, but we have times, we can plan times where we can meet.
Yeah.
Have that physical meeting just to really help and strengthen our relationship. So if you don't have that, then you are not in a relationship.
Yeah, I have a question for both of you too.
Okay.
So what do you say to those guys that the UK visa policy changes, especially for students, that those guys that are already in relationship in Nigeria, very, very good relationship, but because they came in here as single and because they cannot come in with their dependent, but they already have a promise to those in Nigeria that don't worry, when I finish my studies, I'm going to come back to get married.
To me, that is not feasible. If I was in Nigeria as a woman,
you're telling me that
the answer is no, and the reason is because let's tell ourselves the truth. Most people use them to start to japa. They don't really care about the school.
So what of those relationships that has been for 2 years? I mean, very good relationship that has been for 2 years.
Then, if you want to japa, choose a route that allows dependence. If I was in a relationship in Nigeria and I would look for a route that, and I'm married, I would look for a route that allows dependence. You can't choose student visa knowing fully well that student visa does not allow dependence. And we all know the fact that most people don't really care about the education. They are only using it as a means to leave the country. Why are you not choosing that route that you have to abandon your significant other or your wife behind? Why not look for a route that allows you to travel with that person? Even under student visa, there's a master's by research that allows dependence. Why not go down that route? Why are you choosing the route that will not allow you to take this other person? Knowing fully well that if the person got a scholarship, you know that obviously. But this one, you woke up on money, you applied to a school, and they gave you admission, and you spend millions to pay deposits, and you know fully it's not something that fell into your lap. It is a choice that you took. It's a process that you went through. So you should have thought about it.
But they could still come back later after 1
Thing
year.
is,
Unless you are coming back to Nigeria.
No, coming back by the time they get their COS.
But you can't unless what is that is not something you don't base on the fact that I would have to wait until I get.
immediately you enter the plane, you are started seeing people. You are started getting connected with people. When you get to class, when you get to work, when you get to church,
and you are seeing people that are in closer proximities and in better situations and opportunities than your significant other back home. You are putting yourself in the. It's like you can't put a goat and a yam in the same room and be surprised that the goat ate the yam.
Yes, now you admire people now.
Yes.
You understand?
When you come here, you will see, and we are human beings. We are attracted to it's in human nature. I tell people that human nature is inherently selfish, and sometimes being selfish is not a bad thing. Being selfish is actually a survival instinct. It makes you go after things that are better for you. So when you come here, you see people that are in better situations, in closer proximity. But somebody who is stuck in Nigeria, who doesn't have a visa to come to the UK and visit you whenever they want,
So
you are putting yourself in a. They are putting yourself as you are like the goat, and you are putting yourself in a room where there's a yam. You will eat the yam, and nobody. I mean, I won't even blame you.
So
I won't even blame you.
husband here,
Yeah.
and they are still
And they still have a relationship in Nigeria. Like I won't blame somebody who comes to the UK and sees he leaves his girlfriend in Nigeria and he comes to the UK and he sees another girl who is in quotes not like better, but it's a better opportunity for him to marry. I won't blame him for marrying her because the one in Nigeria, what's the guarantee you get COS?
What is she even doing there?
What is she even doing? Are you even assured that she's loyal,
Waiting.
still
Yeah,
waiting for you in
yeah,
quotes.
yeah.
What is
Waiting.
guaranteed that she's still waiting for you?
No, no, no. You don't
So
have eyes
when you
over
come,
there now.
exactly, you don't have eyes over there. You can't verify whether she's still loyal to you. So for me personally, if you are in a serious relationship with somebody or you're married and you're in Nigeria and you want to japa, please choose a route that allows you to carry your husband. Yeah, yeah, or unless you're willing to quit the relationship. But if you know, because a student visa is not something that falls on your lap, it's a process that you go through. So you would have thought about it before,
Yes, now.
and it takes a lot of money. So it's not you have to gather that money first that you used to pay deposit and pay for visa and all that. So before you go through all that, you need to think about what is the future relationship. You either quit the relationship or you look for a route that allow you carry that person.
Or quit the relationship.
And
That's
anything
just
I
it for
see,
me.
take her like that.
Exactly now.
Take her like that.
So would you now advise the single ladies that their spouse are in the UK? You
Anything
want
where
to
their
advise
eyes
them
see,
to
make them
I would
take her.
quit
say
their
that
relationship?
obviously everybody's situation is different. I'm not saying that it's not possible to have that,
Yeah,
but
of course.
it's something that you have to be open to the possibility that it won't work.
Yeah.
And it won't work because you are a bad person or the guy is a bad guy,
Mm-mm.
but because that's just how life
Be
is.
open-minded.
You know,
That's
these things happen in the movies. So
because they happen in movies now.
Another
This is
thing is
like
that
this is real
movie,
life
but
now.
this is real life, and we all
This is
know
real
how
life.
real life works.
Yes,
Real
now.
life
There's no sentiment. Oh,
is not
I
the
mean,
hair. Like I said, me,
it will happen
I
and
won't even blame the guy
yes,
because
now.
that's just it. That's just life. So they are human beings. So that's just it. What's guaranteed that you get serious and be able to, and even now that they're even changing serious to not even bring
You
dependence.
understand?
What's the
So
guarantee
it
that
keeps getting harder now.
it keeps getting harder? So the best is that you go together from the beginning as much as you can.
all right. So before we take it home, OG, you wanted to say something.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask what you feel about cohabiting.
Um,
Do
I
you
think
think
it's
it's a
a
blessing or a bane?
I think it's again it's one of those things like it's like a double-edged sword. That's what me I feel. It has its pros and it has its cons. And so um it's it's something that it depends on your values and your beliefs basically. But you have to understand that it's not I won't say it's not something you have to do to have a successful relationship, but it's also not something you must do to have a successful relationship. That's how I feel it. I feel like it's one of those things that it may work for some people, it may not work for some people. It's just that's just how it happens. Like um so people say that okay, cohabiting is necessary for a successful relationship. I personally don't believe that. I believe that it's one of those things that can work for some people, but there are also people that it won't work for. Because like I said, to me, at the end of the day, the essence of marriage or partnership is that commitment to that person and only that person, that both of you are committed to each other. And if you don't have that, cohabiting will not solve the problem. Cohabiting will not make somebody whose eyes is outside to start to bring it will not bring his eyes inside. Cohabiting will not make a man who believes that it is his right to cheat to stop cheating. That's just it. It can help you
Mm,
understand and appreciate your partner more, but it will just reveal who they are to you, which I feel like even if you're not cohabiting, you will still see who they are. That's the essence of over time. People can't pretend for long. So it won't change anything. It will just reveal the state of the situation. If the guy is a bad guy, if the girl is a bad
well,
girl,
it will change.
the cohabiting will just show you that this person is a bad person. That's just it. It won't make a bad person a good person.
It can
Some
make someone adjust actually because I feel that cohabiting makes you see the little details that you're not seeing, especially people for long distance. Yeah, the little ones. Yeah, the little details. Now, it might not be red flag unnecessarily. Now, for cohabiting, some people, as little as snoring, they cannot stand it. I'm saying that as little as snoring. I'm just giving instance. I'm not saying because of snoring. Some people, as poor hygiene. Some people just probably. I mean, it's personal choice. Once they finish food and eat, they'll not wash place for like 3 days. Yes, cohabiting will allow you see that.
when it comes to relationship, I believe we talk about red flags, red flag, red flag.
Yeah.
I feel like there's red flags and there's yellow flags.
Okay.
Red flags
I've
are
never heard yellow
yes,
flag before.
red flags are things that are to me it calls the person's personality, and it would probably like take the grace of God for them to change. And so those things, like maybe someone that is violent, that's something that will probably take a lot of work to change. And so if the person is
Mm,
violent, you need to leave that relationship.
yeah.
But to me, somebody snoring, like it's something that there can be a solution to it. somebody
It's not really solution
having,
to snoring.
yes, now like people that have
I just like
deviated,
distance. I
yes,
just
there
don't
are
know.
these tools that you can use to put
Oh
on
yeah,
your
yeah,
head to
yeah.
stop
Or position of
snoring.
sleeping.
Yeah, some people make position of sleeping or something.
Mm.
I would not, me, I don't like snoring, but I would not, if
Leave
my
someone because of
partner
that.
has the core values that I want, I won't
Mm.
leave him for snoring.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Makes
hygiene
sense.
too is the same thing. Some people grew up in, like I had a friend that, she grew up in a place where people did things for her. So that's her. She expected that. And so when I stayed with her, I had to tell her that, babe, you can't. People will not do. You have to do things for
Mm.
yourself.
DIY, do
So
it
some people
yourself.
are used to maybe dropping their clothes on the floor because there
Mm-hmm.
was somebody that picked it up for them. But when you now get into a relationship again, you now have to teach them that you are an adult. You can't be dropping your clothes on the floor. Pick it and put it somewhere. So those are little to me. Those
That
things are
cohabiting
not.
can do, but
Yes, but even not
not
just
really major.
cohabiting. Even it's not really major.
Mm.
Even if you don't
Yeah.
cohabit, eventually once you get married, you have to live in the same house with the person. So you can see that even in marriage and say, babe or guy, adjust. Don't do this. Hygiene, work on your
Well,
hygiene. Those are things that you can fix. But
cohabiting will still help you know if someone is flexible or rigid. Do you know that?
I also feel that
When you correct someone once, twice, thrice, and the person is
you
still
don't need
on
to
that.
live with somebody. There are colleagues I have at work. I don't live with them, but based on working with them, I know that this person is difficult to accept
Yeah, but you're not going
criticism.
to be with them for life. So
uh
if they are difficult
But if
to accept
I
criticism,
feel
you
like you
just
don't
leave
need
them.
to cohabit with somebody to know whether even talking to the person, even because I feel like a lot of people, what people do in relationship, because even having conversations, you can have conversation with somebody and a 10-minute conversation can tell you the way somebody thinks concerning, especially concerning certain issues. So if you talk to somebody, the person is like, no, you can know that this person doesn't really like. You don't need to live with the person in the same house to know that.
Well, you know that.
So
You know
I'm
that.
not saying cohabiting is bad in a
Okay.
way. Of course, where we come from is not an acceptable thing because of
Yeah,
our
yeah, yeah,
cultural
yeah.
value and even religion.
Religion, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying that to me, it's one of those tools that is not really like you can do it and it will work for you.
Mm.
But do you really need to do it? That's just my own
Topic for
thing
another
there.
day, but I think it's very important.
All right, so that's a wrap for us. Thank you so much, OG. Thank you so much, Fatima. Thank you so much. We are very grateful and we hope you guys will come next time. So, guys, the subscribe button is at the bottom of the screen if you want to subscribe to watch more of our videos so that anytime we drop video, you'll be able to see them and you'll be able to watch our interesting conversations that are coming up soon. Please hit the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. And if you want to contact us personally, you want to feature in any of our shows, just let us know. I'll drop my phone number at the bottom of the screen and you'll be able to speak to us anytime and let us know your concerns and we can bring you up to our show. So
All
thank you so
right.
much
Thank you so
guys for
much,
Bye.
coming
Peacemaker.
and
Bye.
we hope to see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye for now.